Wearing these out in public is a different proposition entirely. It's currently resting on my nose. It's not at all comfortable. Goovis. I almost didn't make this video, and the reason for that is, well, as you'll see, I'm not sure I can recommend this product to many people. And I reached out to them and I explained that I had a lot of issues with setting these up and I wasn't sure that I could make a positive review about this. And honestly, making negative reviews doesn't really serve either you, myself, or the company at all. So it's kind of lose-lose-lose situation, really. And we'll get into what I don't like about these in a moment. But I said, should I make the review? Do you want to just leave it? Because I'm not sure that I can say much positive about these. And they said, go ahead and make it anyway. And I think that says some good things about the company. They said, thank you very much for the feedback. And they said, yeah, well, we are still keen to see the review. So I will start with the just positive things that I can tell you right now. The IPD adjustment is good. So the fact that you can actually change the position of the two screens and lenses over your eyes to match your IPD without any adjustments, without having to buy a particular device. You can buy this one and you can adjust for that. And the fact that it has built-in diopters from 0 to -3.5 there, which again, that's good. So my prescription, yeah, is -2.5 basically. So you can see I've managed to set these up to match my prescription. So you can wear these without any type of corrective lenses, which again, that's a good thing. So let's go back to the start and I'll show you my sort of initial thoughts of these. And bear in mind that I've come from a place where I have been using display glasses. I've been using the X-Real 1 Pros, which are very good, and the Neo Air 3S, which aren't quite as good as the 1 Pros, but they are a lot cheaper. And these Goovis goggles, they are the most expensive of the bunch. And the other definite positive, although this is a positive of using any display glasses, is the benefits to your posture that you get. It is far nicer than using a laptop where you're hunched down and looking straight down. It's far nicer to be able to sit up straight and look at a screen that's directly in front of you. This is the Goovis Art, and thank you very much to Goovis. That stands for Good Vision, by the way, if you haven't worked that out, for sending this out for review. This is their Full HD XR mounted display. And this one is designed to work with, yeah, well, any device at all. These aren't cheap things by any means at all. This is about $550 on Amazon there. Or the basic set actually comes down to £420-ish. You can get a cinema package, you can get a luxury bundle, and you can also get the power hub as well. Let's see what else they've sent out for me to try out today. Got a single cable here, a rather nice seeming carrying bag, lens cloth, and instruction manual. I guess that's all you need to get started using this. Pouch there for cables and accessories, and then the main slot with another little section there. They've also sent me this little guy, which isn't a Goovis thing, but it's D4H1 and it's advertised in a bundle. This is an Android TV, basically streaming set. In there is essentially just, leave anyway, a little bit of compute, enough to bring down some media from the cloud and play it straight into your headset. And I think this is a little bit of a battery for that streamer, whether this can also power the Goovis as well, I'm not sure. You can use this independently from power by USB-C, I think, or you can have it connected onto its little battery power there. Cool. But that's for streaming media. And for me, the real purpose of these is for productivity on the go. And I'm interested to use this along with this little guy, this little mini PC. This is the TrigKey Ki13. And I've been using this with the X-Real smart glasses, which are a similar proposition. I've got to test out video editing on the TrigKey, which is an i9 in there. I was already using it with the X-Real, so I'm going to double up and test out the video editing along with this Goovis headset as well. And this one is really aimed at that. It's aimed at working, it's aimed at productivity, whereas they also have another product called the G3 Max and G3 XR. So the G3 Max is actually, I'm kind of more interested in this one because this one has QHD screens in it. Because one thing I have noticed with the X-Real is that the 1080p, there is a limit to how much you get out of a 1080p screen in 2025. But I do love the fact that you have a kind of virtual widescreen in front of you with the X-Reels, and I'm not sure if you can do that with the Goovis Art, so we're going to find out just now. And they also sent me this. I believe this is the more comfortable head strap. Well, I guess these are extenders, so you can pick your size or feel. Anti-slip silicone pads. And here's a Type-C adapter, and the idea of this is that then you can power and run an HDMI signal to the goggles as well. So this guy, HDMI would come out of your computer, one line in for power, either from a battery, and it's 5-volt power, or from a mains adapter itself, and this is the Type-C for signal. So the signal, I guess, goes out to this guy. Right, let's get this all to one side and figure out what we're dealing with here. So it says this is where the Type-C goes. Okay, that is the thing. And these are the little lens covers. Okay. One thing about this compared to other smart glasses is they actually have a diopter on the side here. So it is possible to wear these without your ordinary corrective lenses. Now, currently I'm wearing contact lenses, so the diopter should be set at 0. But with the X-Reel, for example, I have a clipped-on set of corrective lenses there. So that's another thing to buy. That's another sort of 50 quid to order those. You can wear these over normal glasses, but they aren't perfect. And of course you can wear them with contact lenses. But I just find staring at any screen in contact lenses for any amount of time gives me a bit of a headache. But let's also talk about the elephant in the room, because these guys, putting them on is as simple as putting on a pair of glasses. And they're as comfortable as a pair of glasses, except for the cable that has to dangle to one side. Okay, not too bad. But also, they look a bit more like ordinary glasses, at least. But they don't look good already. And I am a bit self-conscious, even though I'm one of the most confident people that I know, I still get a bit self-conscious wearing these out in public. I know what I'm doing, I've not bothered too much, but yeah. It's not really the look, is it? If you want to be a cool person sitting in a cafe working on your latest and greatest novel, then wearing some specs on your face like that aren't really going to cut it. Whereas, let's say, wearing the Oakley Metas, then they have really focused on making sure their smart glasses, without any displays, it's not the same proposition at all, making sure their smart glasses look cool primarily, and that's a big deal. Now these guys, apart from having a USB-C sticking out from your forehead for a start, and then, yeah, being attached. Oh, I see, there can be a Type-C in here as well, and there's an earphone port out there. So there's a Type-C from the side, and a Type-C from there as well. So I don't know. I'll try where it is just now, but maybe that cover will go back in a moment. And it has a Velcro from the side here to get it up and running. I currently can't see anything. Oh, I can kind of see where the screen is in front of me at least. But yeah, wearing these out in public, it's a different proposition entirely. I have got that running now, and I can see the screen. I just need a little bit of effort to get it into a comfortable position. It does have a IPD adjustment, so you can move these left and right until you get a comfortable viewing angle there. Can't seem to get this into any position where it feels sort of stable in front of my face right now. So I think I'll just try the other headbands. So definitely buy the ones with the more sturdy headbands. So what do? I unclip that. And although I am not a really self-conscious person at all where it comes to my hair, it might surprise some of you. I know that for many people, this idea of wearing something on your head that's going to leave you with a kind of permanent hat head after any session of work is not going to be appealing at all. So if you're the type of person that knows you can't wear a hat before going out in public because your hair's just messed up, then I think give these a miss. Yeah, I just feel like it shouldn't be resting on my nose. And I don't know whether I'm going to have to do this like every single time. And here's the rub. I feel like there's a switch there to go into 3D mode. And here's the thing. I feel like the only information I've seen about these so far has been the kind of sponsored videos. And none of them show you that. The actual sheer frustration of getting these set up. It is a nice sharp display, but here's the other thing. Looking through the information on the website, and you can see it's HD screen. There's no anchoring at all here. It's 60 Hertz and there's no widescreen mode. There's no super wide or ultra wide. So for me, it's considerably, it's not as versatile as the X-Reel. I will say that the screen looks sharper, but the screen, there's no way to make that screen any bigger. And at this distance, it only looks about as big as one of the monitors I've got on my desk. Okay, I think I may have got it into a comfortable position. Because there's no anchor mode at all, I'm struggling. Now, oh, I've lost it. That was weird. It kind of went, yeah, it's gone all fuzzy for some reason. Now, I think the benefits are having the built-in IPD adjustment, whereas the extras are a digital IPD adjustment, and having the diopter built in. So that might be really good, actually, being able to wear them just without any kind of corrective visions. Okay, now I'm getting to the point where they're comfortable on my head and I've got them in the right space. They've defaulted though to a very low resolution, so I need to go in and find that out. They are at 1080p. I can't really see the edges very well. It's very odd to look up into the corner of a screen, because normally you'd move your head a bit. Now for me, I'm here, I've got one 1080p screen in front of me that's quite sharp. It's quite comfortable to look at, but I mean, I'm long since over working on one 1080p screen. Okay, one other benefit of it compared to the X Real is I have pretty much, apart from that screen in front of me, pretty much peripheral view of everything. I can see the keyboard really well. I can see the mouse really well. Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, it's not natural. I will persevere. I will. That's what I'm sort of here to do. I will try my best to get a bit used to this, but I don't think as a creative I was asking for one 1080p screen more than what I've got. And can that please be strapped to my face? So I hope I'm missing something. I hope that there's some option somewhere to give me something more here. I'm struggling to see how this 1080p screen in front of me, which is smaller than the real screen that I've got in front of me, even on a train, I don't see this as being like helpful really. I mean, yes, there is, I've talked about it quite a bit, the posture benefits of having a heads-up screen, but actually because this is hanging from my forehead rather than just attached to me like normal glasses. I mean, the saving grace would be if this, for a long session, which I will do with it this evening or another day, if this for a long session is better, then sure, then this will be a benefit, but I just don't see how this is going to be. I feel like I'm having to hold the thing up, and then that's going to get uncomfortable on my neck. And there's no headphones, so there's no open ear speakers, which are also one of the great benefits of smart glasses of any type. I finally feel like I can do a bit of work, but it's weird because the screen follows my head. Sorry guys, I did think maybe the QHD version might be compelling, but even that, I mean, it might be a case of just living with it and making all the adjustments that we need. You know, the corners of the screen, I'm having to kind of like squint and like dim one eye to be able to look across from this eye. It's not great. So we'll keep an open mind. But with, you know, if you're selling this to creative people, what we tend to want on our computer screens is large amounts of screen real estate, not one 1080p screen, which is actually a reasonably small screen and which actually like is attached to your head in a not very pleasant way. I mean, last thing to say is I can do this, but this is in no way better than a laptop screen. Could use this, but I just don't want to. So thanks very much to Goovis for sending that out. I will persevere and I will let you know my full thoughts at some point. So I went back and I had a second go with these, and I used them without my glasses on. And at first I was like, well, that's good. I'll be able to see the screens in my peripheries. And that's one of the benefits that they discuss, is that of course you can use screens in your peripheries. But for me as an eyeglass wearer, well, that was no good, because if you're using the built-in diopters to see the screens in front of you, then you can't see the screens in your peripheries. They're going to be blurry. I'll just plug that into my little laptop. And there we are. I've got the screens in front of me. I'm currently wearing contacts, so I'm going back down to 0 on the diopters. Now, I've got a 1080p screen in front of me, which is smaller than this screen is in front of me on the desk. It's about the size at that distance of the much smaller 16-inch screen there. So this is not a large screen at all. Although, yes, it is true, and they point this out, it has one of the best pixel per degree. So with display glasses, you're going to see this quoted, PPD, pixel per degree. But of course, pixel per degree is easier if the field of view is smaller, and the field of view is really quite small on these. Just trying to get it right now. And I found that you kind of get it set up and you're happy with the way it looks, and then sort of, because they're quite heavy, they maybe move slightly on your face and all of a sudden they're blurry and harder to see. It's kind of like looking at a screen down a tunnel rather than looking at a screen that's really big and in front of you. The X-Real 1 Pros, however, and the X-Real 1s, they give you anchoring. And there's no anchoring at all here. There's no anchoring on the Ray Neo Air Free S either, but the actual screens on the Air Free S are considerably larger. They appear larger in your field of view, and I think that's better. The Pros are larger still. Take them off to look at the screen in front of me. Yeah, so it says 55 pixels per degree. But if I look at the X-Real 1 Pros, there's a 57 degree field of view compared to, I don't think it tells me the field of view because they're probably not wanting to shout about it, 40 degrees. So that's quite a large difference when you think about that. They are only 60 Hertz as well. Whereas both the X-Real 1 Pro and the Ray Neo Air Free S are 120 Hertz. So should you want to use them for gaming, you're far better off with one of the other two. But most of all, they're large and uncomfortable, and I don't see why you would buy this heavy, uncomfortable headset when you can slip on a pair of glasses like this. And those two reasons that I gave at the start are not enough to make it worth your while going for something smaller, portable, more comfortable to wear like these guys. So it's nice that you don't have to wear your glasses, but if you can't see your peripheries because you're a glasses wearer, then I don't think that's helpful at all, really. It's nice you can adjust the IPD, but the trouble is, what you find is that you're having to look towards the side of a screen by moving your eyeballs only, not your head. Whereas with these guys, because they have anchoring and the X-Real Pros, you can actually move your head to look at an incredibly wide screen. You can have a virtual ultra wide screen, turn your head to one side, turn your head to another side, and it's just better. And yes, all of these do have the benefit I mentioned at the start, which is that you can look at a virtual screen which is directly in front of you. If you're ever working in a cramped space or you don't have a good setup, ergonomic setup like I do here at home, then having a screen that's kind of projected directly in front of you is much better for your posture. Although because these don't have the anchoring, and because I found it very difficult, I've adjusted these a lot to try and get them comfortable and stay in one place on my face. And because they were sort of falling around and moving in position on my face and I was having to adjust them quite a lot, I found myself actually slumping my head down and moving my head in some funny directions as well, which of course that's not going to be good for your neck either. And then there's this weird cable coming out of the front. I mean, whose decision was that to put a cable? Yes, you do have options. You can put it right here at the very top, or you can put it on the side. But either way, you have a cable coming out the front of your head, which in all of the images, there's hardly shown at all. I guess they've kind of tucked it behind them. Yeah, it's not smart. Yeah, I guess it's kind of running behind, but yeah. And then there's also no sound. So with these guys, the Goovis, you're going to have to also wear a headset, which sure, there's a 3.5mm jack on the side, but in these smart glasses design, you've got, and these are Bose tuned earpieces, you've got speakers built in right next to your face. Now, sure, these two, the X-Real 1 Pros and the Goovis are a similar price, sort of over £500. But why would you buy the Goovis when you can get a larger field of view, lighter, more comfortable, has speakers, generally a more pleasant viewing experience, the Ray Neo Air Free S's. And when you can buy these at $270, I struggle to see a reason to buy the Goovis. I'm disappointed as well because these Goovis goggles were featured in a lot of videos on YouTubers that I trust, and sure, they were sponsored videos, and I've got no gripe at all for YouTubers adding sponsored sections into their videos. It's just a natural part of the creator economy. However, I feel sure that those YouTubers, having used these for any length of time, would have found them to be not a product worth their endorsement. I would still be very interested to try the other Goovis products, the G3 Max, which does have the higher resolution at 2.5K, so it's 144 basically. 65-degree field of view, much better. Still does a 45 pixels per degree resolution and has an even wider span with the built-in diopters. Of course, you don't have the benefit there of being able to see your peripheries, and I do wonder about that for work. I think that's far more sensible for home theatre, gaming type of things, because for work you do need to be able to see your keyboard and mouse maybe, and sometimes your peripheries as well. So, and that does have the 120 Hertz refresh rate, which brings it up to in line with the other glasses that I'm talking about. And so when I was gaming on these, and I thought maybe that might be a saving grace, I did find lots of vertical tearing as well, which I don't get from either of the two sets of glasses that I'm discussing here. And if you were thinking to yourself, well, what about the diopter adjustment? Maybe that's worth getting for me. Can understand that. That was something I was certainly looking forward to. But just have a look at how inexpensive it is to add something like these, which are kindly sent from VR Wave, which are a prescription set of inserts, which can very quickly, and they don't weigh a lot, add that prescription into your glasses. Yeah. Definitely check out my 2 videos on the Rainio Air 3S's. Really very light, very good value product that is, and the X Real 1 Pros, which are even better, but do bring you up in line with the Goovis for the price. And as I was saying, I made a sponsored video about these Rainios and I liked it, but I was sure what I said about them was true, and I would happily use these for work. I will say though that the X Real, having the anchor mode and the ultra mode, they are by far and away the best product that I've tried in this AR XR kind of world. For me, they're not for playing games. For me, they're not for long sessions watching videos. For me, they're about having the option to work in a cramped setting, to be able to work in my car, on an airline, in a hotel room, to be able to take with me a tiny little laptop and have a widescreen experience. I think it's well worth it. But what do you think? What do you think of this whole world of XR? We've obviously got the Meta display glasses. They have come out just recently. You can only buy them by having a try-on in the shop. Interesting way of selling them there. And also at IFA, I was privileged enough to try the Rokid AR glasses, which just have a green screen, but they're much more like glasses that you might wear every day. And the Rainio X3 display glasses, which you can't quite buy them yet, but the X2 on their website, and you can already have a look at those. And they did make a lot of sense. If you're interested in the X Reals, then they're here.